welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about the INTJ and the ISTP relationship. Now you may look at those two types and you might think, how in the world can those two types go together? But they do. They work together so well. In fact, it's one of the most common pairings that I've seen in relationships with longevity. So not only is it common, but it also works. So if you're an INTJ, look for an ISTP. ISTPs, look for an INTJ. And I guarantee you, you two will probably more than likely click. It will at least be a good relationship for you to try out because it's a good one. So why is it that they work so well together? I think for one thing, they have two preferences that are the same. They're both introverted thinkers. So they're going to be objective about things, and they're also going to respect each other's space, because an introvert, they need some rejuvenation time. They need some time to play around with their ideas or to just relax and wind down, get their thoughts together, and they're going to respect each other's boundaries and space. One could be in one room, the other one could be in another, and that's perfectly fine with them. So you're not going to get that frustration that some types get. They give each other that space to be independent, go out and do things with other friends. So it works very well. Also, they are very objective and analytical about things, so that really helps them to bridge some understanding with each other and get on the same page many times with their ethics and their morals. Being analytical and objective also helps them because they're not going to hurt each other's feelings so easily. Because, why'd you say that to me? Why'd you say it like that? They're not going to go into all the analytics. They can speak truthfully about certain things. So they like autonomy and they like exploring their own personal interests, and they're generally pretty cool about that. So you got two different temperaments going on here in the same household. You got the SP and then you got the NT. SPs tend to be more laid back, go with the flow, spontaneous. They don't get into the rigidity of, oh my gosh, I gotta follow a schedule. NTs are one of your stronger temperaments. They can be very straightforward, very biting without meaning to. They can be pretty tough. Sometimes they can offend people because they are so strong in their temperament. So you would think that these two types would clash, but actually that ISTP really balances the INTJ out, because INTJs can be really intense, and for some reason that energy that the ISTP gives, that coolness, that calmness, that laid backness, it really helps that INTJ when they feel a little bit keyed up or intense about things. It's nice to not have energies that are both very strong temperamental types together, so they can kind of balance each other out. The ISTP really enjoys having that INTJ's energy of exploring possibilities and being very strong in their opinions of things and being very serious about things that matter and that are important, because ISTPs also have a moral compass and an ethical compass. Now, it might be the same as the world's, or it might be different than the world's. They might be Christians and have that strong Christian belief that they are really into, or it could be other aspects of life. But they're very solid in whatever it is that they truly stand by and believe. So they don't pressure each other. So ISTPs enjoy an INTJ's ambitiousness and their high standards for things and their confidence. That feels really good to an INTJ. And INTJs enjoy that ISTPs have a way of sort of bringing them into society a little bit more, like bringing them out into what's going on in the world. Hey, let's go see a baseball game together. And you know, if the INTJ has an idea that, hey, I want to go to a play, or hey, I want to go see some comedy, the ISTP is going to be spontaneous enough to go along with it. INTJs need intellectual stimulation, and ISTPs enjoy adventure. They can really make the INTJ laugh, and they can make each other crack up. Like, they get each other. It's interesting. If you've ever been around these two types and they've been together for a while, they can get each other even when you don't get them. You just might not even understand what's going on, or what's the plan, or what are we doing next, or and they're just kind of on the same page. They just sort of understand each other's rhythms, and they could be talking about something that they think is funny. They're cracking up about it. So it's kind of nice. I think they can have a very peaceful relationship. So ISTPs bring this fun and this easygoingness to the relationship, and they also help the INTJ to be realistic about some things. So the ISTP can have a component to their personality that likes a sense of order, or that's just naturally simple and straightforward, not all over the place with their thinking. And of course, INTJs like that. ISTPs are naturally grounded in a way, so it's not this huge challenge for the INTJ to have to try to navigate and figure out. So let's talk about where they can have some conflict. Conflict. Nobody likes conflict. I think this type can actually rarely argue because they understand each other. Even if that INTJ is temperamental, the ISTP understands them. If you have an INTJ that's maybe a 6 or the asserter, the ISTP has a natural ability to zone out and to go inward and not let it affect them so much. So they get each other, they know how to handle each other. So the ISTP is going to be very realistic, very practical about things, whereas the INTJ is going to imagine different possibilities. What they have in common is they both don't mind some adventure, but then when it comes to certain aspects of that adventure, it could really clash. Even though an INTJ is a very strong and dominant personality, or can be, even if they have a tendency to be a little bit of a quieter INTJ, they still have some strong feelings. They can still be forceful. They can still be very assertive when they need to be. If there's an area where they just can't get the momentum going, or they need a push, that ISTP more than likely is accepting them for who they are. Remember, they are realistic. And sometimes the INTJ might get a little frustrated because they feel like, hey, I need you to push me a little bit, or hey, give me a little bit more critique. Tell me what I could do better. Push me a little bit. I want to achieve. I want to be driven. I want to go to this next level in life. So sometimes that laid back energy from the ISTP is kind of like, I'm comfortable with the way things are. They will take the reins to a certain extent, but they're not gonna just, hey, come on. Hey, you wanna be in a rut? Okay. ISTPs are generally tactile learners. They like to experience things. An idea that they deem outrageous that the INTJ is coming up with, they may not really jump in there like you think they would. ISTPs might be a little bit more one track, or they could be a little forgetful. So sometimes the INTJ might have moments where they feel like, hey, I'm holding everything up. I need you to jump in here and hold something up too. But the good thing about ISTPs is they can be extremely reliable and dependable. So again, it ends up working out pretty good. Sometimes ISTPs can point out where the INTJ goes wrong when it comes to facts and details and that kind of thing, and that can be a source of frustration for the INTJ when they're challenged in that way. So there might be some validity in what they're saying, but nevertheless, sometimes that kind of conflict can be frustrating to an INTJ. I think because the INTJ has such a strong need for order and to get things done, they may get frustrated with the ISTP for being a little bit more lax about things. ISTPs might want to roll with the punches, keep their options open, whereas An INTJ might have a stronger need to know, hey, what are we doing in the future? What's happening next? Let's plan some things out. So that could be an area of conflict, but what I've actually seen is they develop this rhythm, and they can usually, the things that they do together can turn out to be pretty fun. Like they have this understanding of each other, and so the INTJ becomes more spontaneous and go with the flow. They really can naturally bring out the best in each other, really complement each other, have more of a tolerance than some other types of the things that are different about each other, and accept some of those differences as a positive thing. They just have this ease to their relationship, and it seems to work. So some tips for the ISTP would be to make sure that when you start something that you finish it, because INTJs like that. They might get frustrated if you start a whole lot of things, especially if it's going to impact them in some way and you don't finish it. Understand that they have a need for some scheduling and some structure, and just let them have the space to do that. Also, if you guys have come to an agreement or you guys have plans and you suddenly change them, that could be bothersome to an INTJ. They like to follow through with what it is that you said that you were gonna do. Let's say you have a female INTJ. She may not be like really mushy or really sensitive or really sugary or really, she might not need huggy and oh my gosh, you're so, she may not need that all the time, but every now and then she wants you to tell her that she looks nice or you look pretty. And that's probably not a natural thing for the ISTP to do, but they do enjoy feeling more of that from you. But ISTPs can be very good at nice gestures like washing the car for their mate or bringing flowers. Some guys freak out because, oh my God, I have to give her flowers. Oh my God, I gotta get her a box of chocolates. I don't like the way that makes me feel. Well, because ISTPs are kind of surface in some ways. They're not gonna get all emotional about it. They're just, here you go, here's some flowers. They're comfortable with that because they're not gonna dig into, this makes me feel vulnerable, this makes me feel weak, this makes me, no, they're not gonna do that. They generally don't have a problem. They're the type that will open the doors for the person that they're with and be gentlemen. They're gonna be very nice to their mates. Some advice for the INTJ would be to know that ISTPs have some need for risk-taking, some more than others, so be okay with that. Let them explore some of that adventuresome side of themselves. Remember, they are fact-oriented, so when you start in the center and you're going around the forest and you're giving them this global picture, they like some step-by-steps. And you can check out my INTJ video. I kind of talk about how sometimes INTJs think they're being very step-by-step, but to someone who's not intuitive, it's not. It's kind of roundabout circles. And just try to relax and enjoy yourself when you're with them, and just have fun. Don't always try to rein in the ropes, but maybe try some of those experiences. If you are a little bit hesitant, you might find out that, hey, this is actually fun. I'm so glad I tried this. So if you know any ISTPs and INTJs and they're single, tell them, hey, I got the perfect person for you. You guys are gonna click. You're gonna have so much fun together. You're gonna have an easy relationship with each other. You're gonna have laughs. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. And if you need my help convincing them, then send them my video and have them check it out. And we'll seal the deal. All right, so thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my video. I'm trying to make more MBTI videos. Bye.